The lone wolf. Well, even the turn of phrase conjures images of mysterious men we might remember from old TV shows like The Fugitive or Kung Fu or The Incredible Hulk. These were men who didn't really have jobs, they were families or homes or sometimes even proper names. They just came into town, did a good deed for others, and went on their way. And that's really not so far off the mark when we're talking about the Sigma personality of the lone wolf. Now this comes to us courtesy of the Myers-Briggs personality test. It's the rarest of the 16. Some would say it's as rare as 0.2% of the human population. Some would say up to 2%. So I go with an average of 1%. It seems like a reasonable conclusion. And 1% may not seem like a lot to you. But out of a global workforce alone of 2.5 billion people, that's 25 million sigmas. And it also leaves well over 2 billion people who are not sigmas, who need to understand and negotiate with and navigate and network with and manage this elusive personality type, to better understand them and to better understand themselves. The presentation and the book upon which it is based looks at 3 theaters of life: the professional, at work, the familial, at home, and the social, at play. We're here to talk about the professional theater. So in 2022, estimated corporate profits in the United States were $2,500 billion. And if you factor in the 1% quotient of the sigma, well, that's $25 billion. How much of that money is yours? How much of that $25 billion has your company left on the table because you failed to understand the sigma personality and the other personality types, your own perhaps? This information is vital also for teenagers. Why? Because teenagers are at a point in their lives where they're trying to understand themselves, where they're trying to understand each other and the world. Now, they say there's no guidebook to life, but I want to suggest that there is now. The book looks at 2 facets of life: the inner world and the outer world. The inner world is psychology, reevaluating the personality types, alpha, beta, learning about the others, sigma, and so on. Also personality disorders, narcissism, sociopathy. Also complexes. It's a basis of understanding of psychology, the teenagers that any young person needs to know. The second half of the book and the presentations is about the outer world. Things you would think of as management skills, clear communication skills, emotional intelligence, people reading, body language. These are essential for corporate management, but also for personal management. If I had a family, I would have them read the book and I would sit down with them and discuss it. If I had a workplace, I work alone. But if I did, I'd have them all read this book and I'd sit down with them and discuss it. If I had friends, well, there's always hope. In the 1970s, L. David Meach gave us The Wolf, which was a study of captive lupines. And in the 80s, it became a kind of ersatz self-help book for the modern American male. The idea was that you could apply the lessons of lupine society to those of human society. In the wolf community, the alpha male leads the hunt, procreates, and has other benefits of being the alpha male. The other males are supplementary. They're beta males. They have none of the privileges. And the idea was that if you are a human being, you should be an alpha male and not a beta male, because the alpha male was the victor and the beta male was the supplicant figure. However, this is a woefully inadequate study of human society because we're not wolves. We're not. However much some of us may act like that, we're not wolves. It also denigrates the concept of the alpha female, as we see in human society here, represented by Margaret Thatcher and Queen Elizabeth and Golda Meir. But let's look at the designations as we know them. The alpha male. Well, this is the broad-chested, big-shouldered, rugged American individual with a lot of good traits and bad. Let's take a look at them. Well, he's old-fashioned. He's hardworking. He's loyal. He's faithful. He is fiercely dedicated, but to himself. He prefers self-glorification over the greater good. He's a leader. He insists on leading, in fact. Because of this, he can be insecure because he is status-oriented. His status as a leader is central to his identity. So he doesn't want to be challenged. He's inflexible. He's implacable. This can be detrimental. History gives us a lot of alpha males, including Ernest Hemingway and Winston Churchill, among a variety of others. However, also some of the shadier names in history, including Charles Lucky Luciano and Genghis Khan. Let's look at the betas. Are the betas a lesser figure in human society? No, they're not. Are they supplementary? No. Without the beta, there is no alpha. Without the beta, there's no society. The beta is the stalwart. The beta is the pillar. The beta does all the hard work. The beta lacks the grandiosity of the alpha. The beta puts the greater good ahead of their personal good. Now, the beta is beautiful. Beta is beautiful, people. Hear me now. That leads us to the gamma and the omega. Now, these are the jokesters, the pranksters. These are the failures to launch, the slacker types. They are intelligent. They are not driven. They're not focused. They don't really care about their own glorification or about the greater good. They're just skating. They're just getting by. They can be attractive to others because of their nonchalance. They are charming. And they can be a benefit to any of the three theaters of life. Professionally, in the office, they can ease that tension. Their creativity can be used for a great amount of good in the workplace if it is properly channeled. Likewise, in the family, it's good to have somebody with a sense of humor at the dinner table. And of course, in the social world, the gamma and the omega are irreplaceable. They're the life of the party. Now, the delta. The delta is the schemer. The delta is the narcissist. This is the failed alpha. This is the person who thought they were the leader, but no one will follow them. They lack the gravitas of the alpha. They lack the dedication. They lack the concern for the greater good of the beta or the hardworking ethic. They lack the charm of either the gamma or the omega. So they are essentially left with only their own delusion of having been an alpha, but they're not. So this is a person to avoid in your workplace if you can, and in your family life if you can, and in your social life if you can. That brings us to the sigma. Now the sigma has all of the benefits of the other personality types and very few of the drawbacks. He is intelligent, or she, driven, focused, but not ambitious. This is not a person who is angling for status. Status is not important to the lone wolf as it is to the alpha. Now, if you're an alpha in the workplace or in a family situation, this is the kind of person you want to take in to a meeting and then discuss with them afterward because they are brutally honest and they are very observant and intelligent. So this is a real pearl in your crown. If you've got a sigma in your workforce, you really want to make the most of them. There can be conflicts between the alpha and the sigma. And the reason for this is because the alpha wants to be placated, but the sigma does not care to placate. The sigma is brutally honest, and the alpha does not often welcome honesty. But the smart alpha knows that this is not a threat because the sigma is not ambitious. The sigma is not angling for the alpha's position or status the way the delta is. So the alpha can trust the sigma and must and should trust the sigma. Let's take a look at some famous sigmas in history. Well, there are certainly a lot of them. Steve Jobs, Lenny Bruce, Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Michelangelo, Da Vinci. The great artists, the great rebels are sigmas. And if you are lucky enough to have a Sigma in your workplace or in your family or in your social life, then this is a person you should understand, because they can benefit your life in so many ways, and you can benefit their lives. And if you're a Sigma, well, you really have to understand your true nature and be true to it. This is a presentation for the 1% and for the other 99% in all the 3 theaters of life. You can learn more about all this from my feature-length presentation, Tracking the Lone Wolf, the Sigma at work, at home, and at play. There's information below this video where you can contact me. I also encourage you to read my book, Tracking the Lone Wolf, the Sigma at work, at home, and at play, available in paperback and Kindle and in audiobook format. Thanks for listening.